standing up here, you really are overwhelmed. You look at this and you say you want to thank everybody you've ever worked with in this business. I mean, every single person. All right, maybe not Terry O'Neill, but most people I think you worked with in a business you'd like to thank. It's an exceptional feeling. I mean, most of you know I have no problem expressing my emotions. I'm having trouble at the moment right now anyway. I cry at the opening of a Grand Union. So bear with me tonight, okay? It's a great experience, like I said. I mean, some days you're the pigeon, and some days you're the statue. Today's the day for the pigeons, okay? All right, enough fooling around. Thank you, pigeons. Who gets to stand up on the stage is obviously very subjective. What is not subjective is the incredible work done by SVG, Ken Agard, and the Sports Broadcasting Fund. It's been talked about before, but helping those in our industry who are experiencing difficult times and are in need of assistance, it's an amazing, amazing program. And many of you in this room were blessed, so whatever you could afford to give, it's a great thing. So thank you for that, okay? My family is here, obviously, and hopefully, anyway, is still here. I married my best friend 40 years ago. It's my wife, Jenna, and I've not been the easiest person. Stand up, Jen. Stand up. If you don't mind standing up, I would appreciate it. That's enough airtime. Sit down. I mean, dealing with me is always difficult, but, I love you, and this love and support you gave me has made a big difference, and the reason I'm here, okay? 2 incredible sons, John Edward and Pierce. Very proud of you both. You're the best. 2 daughter-in-laws, Andrea and Victoria. I love you like daughters. You're great. My brother-in-law, Rick. My brother, Rick, and my sister-in-law, Priscilla, are here. I love you, too. And all right, here's the real reason for me. My granddaughter, Abby. She just turned 2, and she actually wrote this speech. I mean, she's incredibly talented. So she's up. She's here, so God bless. From my entry level as a job as a desk assistant at NBC News, it's like 50 years ago now, close to it, to my current position the last 20 years as president of production and programming for the Yes Network, my career has been noteworthy, I guess only for its uniqueness. It's been the depth of it and the longevity of it. I mean, I was a sports producer and an executive. I played a part in nearly every major sporting event in the world, and I called, whether it was the remote truck or the studio, my home. I was at home in both. My body of work is vast, it's varied. But tonight, the 2 bookends of my career, which were NBC and Yes, is going to be my focus, and also the colleagues and friends who played a part in that journey for me. The baseball game of the week was my first love of all of us at NBC. It was our passion, which we found purpose for. We learned how you chronicle a game was almost as important as the game itself, because it's how that game is going to be remembered. We were charged with creating memories with our pictures and words, and create them we did. Thank you. A special thank you to Tony Kubek, who was a role model and a friend and a great one. The legendary Vince Scully, one of the greatest all-time talents ever. And a seminal talent and a conscience of our sports, and also a very good friend in Bob Costas. So it was a privilege to have learned from them, worked with them, and they really helped shape me as a professional. I would not be standing on the stage tonight if it wasn't for Michael Weissman. I've been privileged to work and collaborate with some of the biggest talents in our industry, none of them bigger or more creative than Michael. He believed in me without hesitation and before it was fashionable. And I also want to note this. I met 2 incredible people, 2 extraordinary people who left an indelible mark at me when I was at NBC. One was the great Billy Webb, director, the great Bill Webb, who I was destined to do some of my best work with while I was at Fox. He was intuitive. He had a production 6th sense in the truck, and we had a truly symbiotic relationship, and we were the best of friends. Billy, like the great Harry Coyle, they belong in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and I hope baseball finally recognizes them. Tom Seaver, one of the greatest pitchers in the history of baseball. He was a tough guy to know. He really was. He was very competitive. He hated being famous. He didn't suffer fools at all. I could relate to that. But if you could crack his incredibly competitive shell, you had a friend for life. I'll tell you a quick story. The first time we met, we worked together. We worked together. We didn't know, obviously, each other well. It was our first game of the 1989 season, and it was his first game at NBC. And we were having a production meeting, attended by about 15, 20 people. So as I would be my wont, I suggested some possibilities for the opening of the show. And Tom was very alpha. And he remarked with, "Hey, how many Cy Young's awards you got, pal? I got 3. I should have had 4. All right, 3 should have 4. Okay, fine. I mean, how am I going to respond to that? I'm not going to, not in that environment. So I figured I'll let it go a little bit. So my chance came about the 5th inning to respond. Tom hits the talk back to the truck, and he says to me something, he asked me for something. And so what I did was hit the all button, and those of you in the business, you know what that is. Those of you not, it's a button you push, and you can talk to everybody on headset. Everybody hear every word you say. So I hit the headset, and I said, he's again, after he said to me, he wanted something, I said, hey, how many Emmys you got, pal? I got 8, I should have had 12. Well, talk about two alpha males gaining respect for each other. We gained it right there. He became one of my best friends and one of the most meaningful friendships of my life. It is amazing what can be accomplished with a dream, a few ideas, and a dedication to quality. The late George Steinbrenner was truly a complicated person. He was equal parts P.T. Barnum, taskmaster, patriot, and friend. Part of what made him a visionary was his concept for a 24/7 regional sports network dedicated to the most famous, successful, probably fabled team in all of sports. That would be the New York Yankees. He was determined that his network mirror the quality of his team. He would accept nothing less. There were no compromises, no excuses, no second-place finishes. George only knew one direction. It wasn't left or right. It was through. George went through. That's the way he operated. And by the way, we had 4.5 months to put a network on the air from the back of a napkin. We had no staff, we had no equipment, we had no studios, no distribution, no mobile units, no game producers or directors, no programming of any kind. Oh, by the way, it better be great, was what I was told. And all this was against the 9/11 backdrop of a city in throes of tragedy and grief. We literally, I signed my deal to go to September 10th, the day before. So this is what we were up against. But there was no pressure, right? It was just what it was. 20 years later, I can really say proudly for all of the great people at Yes, we rewrote the book. We brought the network quality across the board, both front and behind the camera, to the RSN landscape. We created a universal template for quality and innovation for all that have followed us. Yes is the most successful regional sports market ever. It's a true gold standard, and it's a brand that rival any in sports television. George challenged all of us every day to be our best. History suggests that we did. He also deserves his place in Cooperstown, and I hope he gets it. I want to quickly acknowledge some of my Yes colleagues, past and present, for all they have done. Leo Hendry, Michael Kay, thank you for all that you have done to make Yes the network that it is and setting an example of what a truly great teammate is really all about. The late, great Bobby Mercer, a classy man, great man, Secret of Class Ken Singleton, the versatile and gifted Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, Flash, Meredith Marakovitz, the seminal Ian Eagle, one of the great talents in our business, Sarah Kustok, Michael Grady, Ian Joy, the brilliant Buck Showalter, trailblazers like, also I mentioned Susan Wallman, I mentioned Leslie, and I'm going to do it again because they deserve it. And two of my favorite, tell them my favorite, thank you. Yeah, I'm a little nervous, I need the prompter, thank you very much. Two of my favorite players for forging second careers on par with their first championship ones. That would be David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. Behind the lens, Woody Fryman, a special thank you to you, the amazing Jared Boschneck, who's like a son to me, the great Troy Benjamin, Kevin Smolin, the late Joey Chavo, one of the greats in our business. I mean, and everybody who worked on Monday Night Football will know him and what his talents were all about. John Moore, the talented Mike Webb, Howard Levinson, Bill Bowen, it's like a law firm here, Mark LaPlace, the amazing Ray Hopkins, the very great Ashley Fugazi, she's been the glue of our network. Kerry Glotz is another son. We need to practice birth control. We've got too many kids here. And finally, we never would have made it to air without the technical genius and organizational skill of Ed Delaney. They really don't come better than him. They really don't. It's very rare when you can have an extremely constructive back and forth with your boss and also call him one of your best friends in life. I am so lucky to have John Littner in my life. So lucky. From the Yankees, I want to thank Randy Levine, Lon Trost, Brian Cashman. Brian, get a shortstop and a center fielder quickly. Hal Steinbrenner and the Steinbrenner family. This has been a dream come true. Others who have impacted my life in a really significant way. Sean McManus. I always tell my boys, please grow up and be Sean, please. Mike Conley, who's in the back of the room, he's great. He's all about what leadership and friendship are all about together. Anna, please listen to your dad. It's important. Steve Rosenberg, who's also in the back, you're a breath of fresh air to this business. I wish you would come along 20 years ago. Howard Katz is home. He's on the mend. The world is a far better place with you in it, pal, so make sure you stay in it. In closing, I just want to say I've always tried to be true to who I am and what I believe. Sorry. I tried to have the courage of my convictions. Sometimes it was to my detriment. I hate entitlement, hypocrisy, and two sets of rules. I tried in my own way to break the glass ceiling. I hired the first woman baseball analyst in the booth. I hired the first woman network game truck producer, the first full-time regional NBA analyst. Twitter was never my boss and never will be. And thank you very much, Twitter, wherever you are. And I've been very fortunate. Thank you, I say to myself. I have been so very fortunate to make a living and a life doing what I believe was exactly what I was supposed to do. For that, I am very grateful, and also I am very grateful to all of you. Thank you.